Very good afternoon. We are live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Israel appreciates United States' position in UN Security Council. PM Netanyahu asserts Israel will continue its war to eliminate Hamas. Philippines accuses China of firing water cannon and ramming its resupply vessels in the South China Sea. And in sports, the first ever Khelo India Para Games begin in New Delhi. Over 1,400 athletes, part of 8-day sporting extravaganza. As Israel-Hamas conflict continues, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that the ongoing military operations in southern Gaza's Khan Yunis will continue for one more month, as the Israel Defense Forces expanded its ground operations in Gaza to combat Hamas. The move comes after the United States wielded its UN Security Council veto to shield its ally from a demand for a ceasefire. Since the truce collapsed last week, both sides have reported a surge in fighting in the north. While Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu welcomed the United States' veto at the UN Security Council.
I greatly appreciate the correct stance that the US has taken in the United Nations Security Council. The other countries need to understand that on the one hand, it is impossible to support the elimination of Hamas, while on the other hand, calling for a halt to the war which will prevent the elimination of Hamas. Therefore, Israel will continue our just war to eliminate Hamas and achieve the other goals of the war that we have set out.
Israel's military chief also said that Israeli troops must increase pressure on Hamas as the system is showing signs of falling apart.
I see the achievements from day to day. We are seeing every day terrorists who are killed, also terrorists who are injured. In the last days, we see terrorists who are surrendering. A sign of the collapse of the system, a sign that we need to press harder. And this is what you are doing.
Meanwhile, thousands rallied in Tel Aviv on Saturday, calling for the release of hostages held in Gaza. Earlier, around 100 hostages were released by Hamas in exchange for prisoners under a 7-day truce. The Biden administration has used an emergency authority to allow the sale of about 14,000 tank shells to Israel without congressional review. In a statement issued by Pentagon, the State Department on Friday used an Arms Export Control Act emergency declaration for the tanks around worth $106.5 million for immediate delivery to Israel. The shells are part of a bigger sale that the Biden administration is asking the U.S. Congress to approve. The larger package is worth more than $500 million and includes 45,000 shells for Israel's Merkava tanks. Now, the World Health Organization will hold a special session today to discuss the health situation in Gaza and the West Bank, with the Palestinian envoy seeking more medical aid and access for foreign healthcare workers. The UN Health Agency said it had received a request from 15 countries to hold the session. The session is being convened by Director General Tedros Adhanom in consultation with the Qatari chair. Meanwhile, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar spoke to Palestinian Prime Minister on Saturday. Jaishankar took to his social media and this is what he said. Spoke to Palestinian Prime Minister Mohammad Shtayyeh. He expressed deep concern on the situation in both Gaza and the West Bank, reiterated India's long-standing position on Palestine, agreed to remain in touch, unquote. And amid a border dispute over the Essequibo region, Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro and Guyana President Mohamed Irfan Ali will meet on December 14th. The announcement of the bilateral meeting came after Maduro spoke with UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres and the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Ralph Gonsalves, on Saturday. Venezuela's government said the meeting is in order to preserve its aspiration to maintain Latin America and the Caribbean as a zone of peace. The office of the President of Guyana confirmed President Ali had agreed to the meeting but added Guyana's land boundary is not up for discussion. And Brazilian President Lula da Silva has urged Venezuela to avoid inflaming territory dispute with Guyana. On a phone call, Lula da Silva spoke to Maduro and called for dialogue, saying it was important to avoid unilateral measures that could escalate the situation. Lula, who has been invited to the Thursday meeting as an observer, reiterated that Brazil is ready to support and follow dialogue initiatives, reinforcing a joint declaration by South American countries that was released earlier this week. Egyptians will vote on Sunday to elect a president, with incumbent President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi emerging as a strong favorite to win another term. For the first time, Egypt is witnessing 4 candidates in the race for presidentship, turning it into one of the biggest elections so far. Sisi had won his first presidential election in 2014 and was re-elected in 2018. In 2019, constitutional amendments extended the presidential term to 6 years and exceptionally allowed Sisi to run for a third term. Egyptian expatriates casted their ballots from December 1st to 3rd in the country's embassies and consulates worldwide. In a landmark move, this time Egypt took to allow all of its people to show support for the military-led transition. Now, Hong Kong held its first Patriots-only district elections on Sunday as a national security crackdown imposed by Beijing further marginalizes formerly popular opposition figures in the China-ruled city. Observers claim large numbers spurning the polls, in contrast to the last council elections in 2019, which drew a record 71% turnout and secured landslide victory for the Democratic camp. Police also arrested 3 members of the League of the Social Democrats in the Central Business District who had planned to protest against the birdcage election, claiming it lacked any democratic scope. Workers assembled on screens, set a stage and hung flags outside the Argentine Congress in preparation for the swearing-in ceremony of Javier Milei to be held on Sunday. Milei is carrying the hopes of 45 million Argentines who have been hit hard by 150% inflation. Grappling with poverty, the country is by far the biggest debtor to the International Monetary Fund. His win was spurred by voter anger at the outgoing centre-left Peronist government for failing to control the sliding economy. With prices rising by 30% and peso losing over 80% of its value against the dollar. Now, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is on a visit to Argentina to attend the inauguration of new Argentine President Javier Milei. This is his first trip to Latin America. Zelensky's trip will focus on Ukraine's long-standing bid to secure the support of countries in the global south. The Philippines has accused China of firing water cannon and ramming its resupply vessels in the South China Sea, with one of the ships suffering serious engine damage. A Coast Guard spokesperson said on a social media post, the Chinese Coast Guard water cannoned 2 of its resupply vessels in the South China Sea. Meanwhile, China's Coast Guard said in a statement that 2 Philippine vessels, ignoring repeated warnings, had illegally entered the waters adjacent to the Rene Reef in the Nansha Islands without the approval of the Chinese government. The incident was the second ramming between Philippine and Chinese ships since October in the vicinity of 2nd Thomas Shoal. The collision comes as a Christmas convoy of around 40 Philippine vessels began sailing Sunday to the disputed shoal. And this comes as China on Sunday launched a new remote sensing satellite into space atop a Long March 2D carrier rocket. The rocket blasted off at 9:58 Beijing time from the Xinjiang Satellite Launch Center in the southwestern province of Sichuan, sending the Yaogan 39 satellite into the preset orbit. It was the 500th flight mission of the Long March series rockets. Now let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. Severe storms and tornadoes left at least 6 people dead in Tennessee, United States. Officials are actively searching homes for people who may be trapped or injured. The extensive damage has left tens of thousands of residents without power. The officials have urged the residents to stay indoors. Southeast Australia swelters through heat wave, with authorities urging the public to stay safe. The scorching heat wave have again raised the risk of bushfires and have led the authorities to put a ban on fires in large parts of New South Wales state. The nation's weather forecaster predicted a maximum temperature in Sydney of reaching up to 40 degrees Celsius. That is almost 15 degrees warmer than the average December high for the city. Twin panda cubs, Pit and Paul, are preparing to return to China from the birthplace of Berlin Zoo in the next few days. To commemorate the brothers who grew up there, the Berlin Zoo held a special send-off ceremony on Saturday with their commemorative nameplates unveiled. And thousands of people attended the traditional Stolen Fest procession in the German city of Dresden on Saturday, where slices of a giant 1.8-ton cake went on sale at the country's oldest Christmas market. Famous as stolen cake, it is the highlight of Dresden's Christmas market, Streisel Market. December 10th is observed as Human Rights Day. This year marks the 75th anniversary of this important day. Vice President of India Jagdeep Dhankar delivered the keynote address at the Human Rights Day celebrations organized by National Human Rights Commission at Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi today. Speaking at the event, the Vice President reflected on India's position as a role model to the world in human rights and emphasized that human rights form the very cornerstone of democracy.
75th Human Rights Day, marking the 75th anniversary of Universal Declaration of Human Rights. A coincidence, it just follows our Amrit Kal, and our Amrit Kal has become our Gaurav Kal, primarily due to worsening of human rights and values. Friends, we had the occasion to get a message from the Secretary General of United Nations. It would have been appropriate and worthwhile to take note of the massive revolutionary affirmative changes that are taking place in Bharat on to 1/6 of humanity on promotion of human rights. No part of the globe is so blossoming, prospering with human rights as our country is doing. And why not? Our civilizational ethos, constitutional framework reflect our deep commitment to respecting, safeguarding, and nurturing human rights. It is in our DNA.
The National Human Rights Commission of India, or NHRC, represents India's concern for promotion and protection of human rights. In an exclusive conversation with DD India's Shubhendu Ghosh, Chairman NHRC talks about the importance of Human Rights Day and the key challenges in the domain.
So specifically, if you could tell us about your interventions for the welfare of women and children and their human rights.
Actually, if we talk of children first, then there is a cyber. We are living in the cyber age. Internet is useful, at the same time it is being used for commission the crimes. Child sexual abuse on the internet and bullying is very common. And then there are other issues of privacy, etc., trafficking of children and women in cyberspace. 96% is a dark web. So we have to take care of this situation.
And you can watch this exclusive conversation with Chairman NHRC on Sunday, December 10th at 8 p.m. IST or 2:30 p.m. GMT. All right, we'll slip into a very short break, but still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Island nations participating at COP28 call for stronger commitment to fossil fuel phase-out and renewable energy. Indian men's cricket team starts its South Africa tour with a 3-match T20I series, first T20 to take place today at Durban.
December 10th is observed as Human Rights Day.
On this day, we take stock of the human progress made so far, developmental process, and what are the challenges caused by that development process. We are living in the cyber age. Internet is useful, at the same time it is being used for commission the crimes. Child sexual abuse on the internet and bullying is very common.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Some more stories. At the ongoing United Nations climate talks in Dubai, COP28 President Sultan Al Jaber told participating nations to speed up their work to find a final deal, saying there were currently more areas of divergence than agreement. Saudi Arabia and Russia were among several countries insisting that the conference focus only on reducing climate pollution and not on targeting the fossil fuels, causing it, according to observers, in the negotiations. On the other side, at least 80 countries, including the United States, the European Union and many poor climate vulnerable nations, are demanding that the COP28 deal call clearly for an eventual end to fossil fuel use.
There is some positive movement at the political level, and we need to channel that energy into speeding up the technical work. That said, there are still more areas of divergence than agreement. The window is closing to close the gaps. We are making progress, but not fast enough and not satisfying enough. My message to parties this evening is very simple. Work faster, work smarter, work harder.
Island nations participating at COP28 called for stronger commitment to fossil fuel phase-out and renewable energy. Under the 2015 Paris Agreement on climate change mitigation, countries aim to limit the rise in global temperatures to 1.5 degrees Celsius, the threshold scientists say would head off the worst impacts of warming. To meet that goal, scientists say the world needs to cut global emissions in half by 2030 and to net zero by 2050.
We will not go silently to our watery graves. Therefore, we cannot and will not accept an outcome from the COP that does not set us on a course for a future that stays within 1.5 temperature.
Meet Isesu Cisse, the queen of plastic in Africa, leading the charge for environmental change. Known affectionately as the Queen of Plastic in Africa, she shared her remarkable journey and her mission to empower women while addressing pressing environmental concerns in Gambia. She is the founder and chairperson of Women Initiative Gambia, and drawing on over 25 years of experience, Cisse identifies poor risk management as a pressing challenge facing Gambia and Africa as a whole.
We have with us today in COP28, Isesu Cisse. She is the founder and the chairperson of Women Initiative in Gambia. Over many years of her work, she has earned this sobriquet, the Queen of Plastic in Africa. Hello, Cisse.
Thank you very much. Hello.
What work you do in the Gambia which earned you this sobriquet, the Queen of Plastic?
Yeah, in Gambia, my work in Gambia is try to sensitize people about the plastic, the side effects of plastic. Make sure that people because I believe that people need to know what is the side effects of plastic, because in the Gambia, 75% of the Gambian people, they use plastic to light fire. And also you go to the dump site, you know, always is just dump in one place, and what they will do is the scavengers, they will come and, you know, put everything in one place and burn it, and it's not good for our health. So that is why I set up the organization called Women Initiative Gambia, where we educate people about the side effects of plastic and what are the opportunities that they can get. When you looked at climate change, it has no border. So working with the communities and youths about plastic recycling, it takes us to when we recycle plastic and we look at the environment, it's kind of, you know, so vacant, there is no trees, it takes us to tree planting. So we work with schools and communities on how to transplant trees around them and protect them and take care of them. Because without trees, there is no life.
What are the lessons that the global community can take away from you, from your work based in Gambia?
Yeah, I think the global community, what they can take from us is they need to understand that the climate change that we are talking, the climate crisis that we are talking, it should be something that we work together as a team. One person cannot change the situation. We have to come together, but you can only be part of the situation, or you can only be participated to the problem if you know about it.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has extended greetings to South Korean President on completing 50 years of diplomatic relations. Taking to Twitter, PM Modi said, "We are celebrating 50 years of establishment of diplomatic ties between India and Republic of Korea today. It has been a journey of mutual respect, shared values and growing partnerships. I extend warm wishes to President of Republic of Korea, Yoon Suk Yeol, and look forward to working closely with him to deepen and expand our special strategic partnership." And with a firm resolve to make India a developed nation by 2047, the Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra van reached Dibrugarh district and Moregaon district of Indian state, Assam. The Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra is undertaken across the country to attain saturation of flagship schemes of the government by ensuring that the benefits of these schemes reach all targeted beneficiaries in a time-bound manner. Let's take a look at how have government flagship schemes changed the lives of people in Assam.
The transformative journey of the Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra continues, leaving its mark across various locales in Assam. The Yatra reached the Dibrugarh district of Indian state, Assam. Additionally, another IC van reached Digalbari Gaon Panchayat in Moregaon district. These IC campaign vans showcased a comprehensive overview of flagship schemes and programs spanning 9 years, drawing numerous beneficiaries who shared their perspectives on the government's initiatives.
घर मिला, टॉयलेट मिला, अरुंदय मिला, आयुष्मान कार्ड मिला, पानी की सुविधा मिला, लाइन की सुविधा मिला, उजाला मिला। भविष्य में बहुत तकलीफ होता था, अभी पक्का घर मिला है तो अच्छा लगा।
Indian Minister Shri Rameshwar Teli, State Minister Shri Bimal Bora and many other dignitaries graced the occasion to witness the Jan Bhagidari movement. Indian Minister Shri Rameshwar Teli ensured complete saturation of government schemes to all beneficiaries to those who have not received the benefits of government schemes. The Viksit Bharat Yatra is a firm resolve by the government to ensure complete saturation of government schemes in every nook and corner of the country.
To make India a developed nation by 2047, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi has launched the Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra, where almost all Gram Panchayats and each and every corner of India will be covered, different government schemes. With camera person Ajay Datta, Subina Roy, DD India.
Sports updates now. The inaugural edition of Khelo India Para Games kicked off on Sunday in Delhi with badminton. The event is set to witness a historic inauguration by Union Home Minister of India Amit Shah on December 11th, highlighting the government's commitment to promote para sports on a national scale. Over 1,400 participants from across 32 states and union territories are participating in Khelo India Para Games. Para-athletes will vie for honours in 7 disciplines including athletics, shooting, archery, football, badminton, table tennis and weightlifting. The Khelo India Para Games promise to be a game changer for para sports in India. The event signifies a significant step towards making sports more inclusive and diverse. Cricket now. Fresh off a 4-1 series triumph at home, the Indian men's cricket team will be on the road to face South Africa in a 3-match T20I series starting Sunday. Indian batsman Surya Kumar Yadav will continue to lead the side, which will be bolstered by the addition of Ravindra Jadeja. The T20 series will be followed by a 3-match ODI series and 2-match Test series.
Surya Kumar Yadav-led Team India is all set to start its South Africa tour from Sunday with the first T20 International scheduled at Kingsmead Stadium in Durban. The young Indian cricket team will enter the fields with some high confidence as they comprehensively defeated world champions Australia 4-1 in the 5-match T20 series. But the team is well aware that conditions will not favour them abroad, and the T20 series is going to be crucial ahead of the T20 World Cup in 2024. For the tour to South Africa, the Indian cricket team will be bolstered by the addition of Ravindra Jadeja, who will be serving as the vice-captain for the T20 series. Batting star Shubman Gill and ace pacer Mohammad Siraj, all three were rested for the Australian series after their involvement in the ODI World Cup. South Africa fast bowler Lungi Ngidi meanwhile will skip the T20 series due to injury. The 27-year-old pacer is recovering from an ankle sprain. The T20 series will be followed by a 3-match ODI series, for which KL Rahul has been handed the responsibility of captaining the Indian squad. India's tour of South Africa concludes with the 2 test matches, for which Captain Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli will join the squad. The South Africa tour is one of India's very limited chances to play T20 internationals as a team. In January, they will play a T20 series against Afghanistan in India, and that would be their last series as a team before the Indian Premier League. The T20 World Cup is scheduled for June 2024 in the United States and West Indies.
Vatican lit up its famed Christmas tree in St. Peter's Square and unveiled this year's nativity scene on Saturday, inspired by the first living nativity scene created 100 years ago by St. Francis in 1223. The 28-meter tall spruce was decorated with edelweiss, a white mountain flower native to the Alps.
Raggiunto nella Valle Sacra Ariatina a 15 giorni l'atmosfera del Natale e le grotte di Greci, arrivato Francesco trovò...
And that's all for this edition of DD India Live. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.